Hey everyone, so we are here for free tutoring. Now, I have a couple announcements to make. For one, we are definitely doing YouTube live on a regular basis, Sunday, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that is for sure. YouTube has allowed us to do this, which is awesome. So this is going to be one of the first educational resources that is completely free, that is broadcast every single week for everyone to utilize. Now, I know we don't have a lot of viewers on today, which is perfectly fine. School year hasn't started yet for most college math courses, so I'm not too concerned. But that being said, in about a week, things are going to get crazy. I'm going to have a lot of my students on here on a regular basis, and I have 200 students signed up right now, and my classes are going to start on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm teaching 6 classes at a university. So we got a lot of exciting things coming up. We also just finished a lot of the liberal arts statistics course, which will be posted very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. That being said, I do want to offer free tutoring. So I'm going to be writing on this pad here, and occasionally you'll see some math on the right. So it's going to be on this side. Now, if you are watching, I know there's only one viewer right now, but if you have a question, viewer, then you can post your math question in the live chat. Last time on Thursday, we had tons of math questions, and I wasn't even able to get to all of them. There was one in particular that had like 8 number theory questions, and I actually want to address all of those in this YouTube live event. So, that being said, let's move on to some math. I'm going to pull up this question on... We're going to pull this up actually on YouTube. There's a bunch of math questions, and I'm going to go through each one item by item. And this has to do with the Hill cipher, although I'll probably not be able to get to the actual Hill cipher itself. But I do want to give you guys a coupon code to get an educational resource for free. So I provide Udemy videos, and they do technically cost money, but I want to give all of my viewers the ability to get those educational resources for free. So if you go to any of my courses and you type in Amour Learning, all caps, you'll get all of my educational resources for free. Unfortunately, I have to charge money to other customers. Everyone is able to use Amour Learning, and that's they can use that at an unlimited amount of times. But on the website, it looks like it's being charged money because that allows me to make announcements to my students. So just keep that in mind. I'm not actually trying to charge any money there. I do want you to utilize resources that are free. So Amour Learning, all caps, you can get my cryptography course. So that being said, I want to cover some number theory and some cryptography, a little bit of cryptography maybe if we get there. Alrighty, let me change these settings just a little bit. Couple things I do want to mention. This could kind of go bad. I live in Arizona, and I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of hard to see, but there is literally a dust storm coming in as we speak, and that's a little scary. So hopefully no power goes out. But unfortunately, I do want to give you the warning that if power goes out, then I'll have to end this stream. So at any point in time, this entire thing can just go south real quickly. Now we have 3 viewers, which is awesome. So 3 viewers, if you have any math questions, I'm going to go through one in a second here, but post your math questions in the live chat, and I'll cover each of those, every single one. So you can ask any questions you want. You can ask, what is infinity? What is 0? Is 0 an even number? You can ask all these questions. As a professor, I want to answer any questions, even if it has to do with something like 2 + 2 = 4. I'll address every single thing. So Alrighty, let me share with you guys. It's going to look a little weird for a second here. I want to share with you guys a question that was shared with me. So I'm going to pull up on YouTube a video. Well, actually, I'll just cut to the chase. There was one question on there on the last week that I did not get to, which was rather unfortunate. So let me pull up my pad here. Again, post your math questions in the live chat over there. Alrighty, so let's talk about this question that I got. In the last YouTube live, we actually talked about mod. And if you don't know what mod is, that's okay. I'll describe it to you. So we have the integers, but I'm going to create a world that has only, let's say, 7 integers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are 7 numbers total. And the idea is, the way this works is you can add these numbers, subtract these numbers, multiply, and you can't really divide, which is kind of a weird thing, but you can multiply, add, and subtract. And this is how it works. If you add 2 numbers, like 2 plus 3, we get 5. Very good. So 2 plus 3 gives me 5. But if I do something like 3 plus 5, well, I'm in this universe of only 7 numbers. So my answer is going to be one of these 7 numbers. 3 plus 5 is either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, which is a little weird to people because 3 plus 5 is obviously 8. But I'm going to put quotes around it because there is no such thing as 8 in this universe that we're working in here. So when we're working with mod 7, the way we do this is we take every number and we look at what the remainder is when we divide by the number 7. So there's a special number here, and that number is 7. So here's my 7. We're going to remember this 7. We're in the universe where we only have 7 numbers. So whenever we have a number and we're wondering, what kind of number is that? Which number is that? Well, 8 divided by 7 is 1. But what's the remainder? Well, let's look at it this way. So we have log division. So that goes in 1 time, minus 7. That gives me a remainder of 1. And so this remainder is 1. So it turns out that, in fact, 3 plus 5 is 1. Kind of strange. Let's talk about like 4 plus 6. What is this? Well, that's 10. But 10 is not in the list of numbers, list of options that we have here. So we have to divide by 7. 10 divided by 7 is 1 with a remainder of 3. So it turns out that 4 plus 6 is 3. It's kind of a strange world to work in. What about subtraction? 5 minus 2. That's 3. Oh, but 3 is in this list here, so we don't have to worry about that. That's good. What about 5 times 6? Well, this is 30, but again, 30 divided by 7 is 4 with a remainder of 2. So 5 times 6 is 2. Math gets really weird when we do with this stuff, but it turns out that this math world is completely consistent. 5 times 6 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, 4 plus 6 is 3. So yeah, this 4 plus 6 is actually equal to 5 minus 2. That's kind of strange. But this equal symbol that we're working with is actually 100% consistent. Take, for example, these two right over here. That one and this one. These are both apparently 3, but so then they must be equal to each other, right? 4 plus 6 equals 5 minus 2. So I can do whatever I want to both sides of an equation, right? If this is truly an equal symbol, then I should be okay. And by the way, I just want to mention real quick, the power is kind of going out, so at any point in time, this live stream could just totally end. and that's okay. So keep that in mind. Now, what can I do here? I can add 2 to both sides. Will that work? Let's add 2 to 4. What do we got here? We have 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 6 is apparently the same as 5. And let's check that. What is 6 plus 6? 6 plus 6 equals 5, apparently. 6 plus 6 is 12, so 12 equals 5. Is that right? Yeah, 12 divided by 7. Keep in mind, the special number here is 7. 12 divided by 7 is 1, with a remainder of 5. That works perfectly. Yeah, so if you hear a background noise, I just want to remind everyone real quick, before we move on to this weird, funky universe, just want to show you guys what we're dealing with here. There is literally a storm. That's pretty crazy. So just keep in mind that at any point in time, we could lose connection. It's perfectly fine. So I had a real good question. How do you do other operations like multiplication or exponentiation? And that's a very, very good question. So let me show you guys what it looks like to do what's called successive squaring. Alrighty. Before we get on to successive squaring, multiplication is relatively easy. The way we do, well, let's keep in the universe of Z7, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the only numbers in this set. So we can do, again, addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So if we want to do multiplication, it's relatively easy. We could do something like 2 times 3 is 6. That's good. But let's do like 6 times 5 times 4. Well, that's kind of difficult. 6 times 5 is 30 times 4. And 30 times 4 is 120. So 120 divided by 7. Oh, I actually don't know that. I do have a calculator with me, but you know, I'd like to make life a little bit easier. This 30 right here can be reduced mod 7. So again, we only have these 7 options here. So let's figure out what 30 is. 30 divided by 7 is 4 with a remainder of 2. So this is actually the same thing as 2 times 4, which is 8. Well, I'd rather figure out what 8 is than 120. 8 is a lot easier to work with. Now 8 divided by 7 is 1 with a remainder of 1. So that's my answer. Turns out that 6 times 5 times 4 is in fact 1. That's actually completely correct. Now that being said, I want to show you guys a problem that we run into when we get into larger numbers here. It turns out that whenever you deal with like multiplication or big numbers in general, working mod 7 is actually really easy. Sorry, it's like really, really windy right now. Whoa. That's crazy. We have like 60-mile-an-hour winds right now. All right, well anyways, sorry, I'm being really distracted. So, working mod 7. What if I had something like 100 and... Let's do actually 51. Sorry, my keyboard's kind of messing up, and that's understandable. I think maybe the storm has something to do with it. 51 times 47